Black women endured more sexual harassment at work than anyone. And until very, very recently, there are very, very few attractive women in America at all who have not been sexually harassed or hit on by their white boss, supervisor, co-worker, or employer, period. Sexual harassment is as American as apple pie. In fact, it's been tapped down a lot in the past 5 years, but Anita Hill's accusations against Associate Justice Clarence Thomas in 1991 had little effect on sexual harassment, man. Hell, Clarence Thomas was confirmed to the Supreme Court, and more than likely by white men who had done far worse than he did to their own subordinates. And I think it was a good thing that it blew the lid off all of that shit. I mean, go ask your wife or your girlfriend, your mother, your daughter, if she's ever been sexually harassed at work, and I guarantee you she'll say yes. Then she'll say, I handled it, or I don't pay them fools no mind. Black women are the #1 targets of sexual harassment. They just are, especially by white men in the workplace. Now, I say white men because, in case you haven't noticed, black men ain't been hiring lately, and they won't hiring 20, 40, or 60 years ago either. I mean, just like Clarence Thomas, you're going to have some exceptions to the rule where black men might harass somebody if they open a business or, coerce sex from some of their female employees. Sure, it happens, but it's few and far between in comparison because they don't run in businesses or industries, corporations, not until the past 20 years. Now, black women are targets mostly because of their social economic status, especially in the inner city. I mean, the inner city black single mothers, man, and they're trying to keep their children and fed and food with food on the table and a roof over their head. They catch hell from white employers, man. I mean, white males' entitlement has only recently been reined in a bit by social media hashtags like Me Too. It caused a lot of white men to back up and say, well, I don't want to get sued, or I don't want my wife to find out, I don't want my face splashed all over the news, and it tapped it down a lot. Now, historically, this is something a lot of people don't know, there was a saying amongst white men in America, especially in the South, and it went like this: a man isn't a man until he split the great black oak. Yeah, you know what that meant? Well, it was white boys' initiation into white manhood only came by having sex with a black woman. Oh yeah, that's what the white man used to tell his son. A man ain't a man until he splits the great black oak. Talking about a black woman. Till he had sex with a black woman, he want a man. And just like the slave masters before him, many of them feel entitled to the black woman's body. Hell, they fought a whole civil war over it. Now, this includes all the white men who used to sneak out to the slave quarters to have sex with the black slaves while their white wife, was in bed asleep. Now there's a book called The Second Slavery that talks about how after slavery, white property owners insisted on having sex with black women who lived on their property. Yeah, they were the landlords. And that still goes on today. White men in America always had the sexual harassment game on lockdown, man. All this talk recently about Joe Biden rubbing a woman's shoulders and making them feel generally uncomfortable. it's funny to me because I know where it stems from. White male privilege, man. And that's really, you know, uh, how it's always been. I mean, it's slowly fading away. But white men are very, very upset about that, man. All the staring at breasts and slapping asses they used to do to the secretaries at work is almost gone now, replaced by a sense of professionalism. Now, if you think Joe Biden and Mr. Grab him by the pussy Trump was bad, you should have seen Richard Dawson. Oh yeah, white folks don't talk about him no more. Richard Dawson was the first host of the game show called Family Feud. Yeah, that was long before Steve Harvey. Anyway, Richard Dawson made it his business to kiss every woman on the show in the mouth on camera. In fact, even if their husband and children was watching, he didn't give a damn. Sometimes dude even closed his eyes and put his arms around them and kissed them before they answered questions. And this went on for years. Nobody said nothing. Sexual harassment is woven into the American experience, man. And if a woman wanted to keep her job, she put up with it. And some of them gave in to it. Now with all these immigrants opening up businesses in the black community, black women are now bombarded with all kinds of sexual harassment from foreigners coming from countries where the cultures, where it's legal. If a black woman walks into an Arab, African, Indian store out in the hood, they're getting harassed while they're shopping. Can you really imagine what would happen if they worked for them? I mean, they're very aggressive. And you know I'm not lying. Every time I go into one of their stores, if a young black woman come in, they're grunting, looking at their behind, just completely just like dogs in heat. All of them. Anyway, that's one white supremacist predatory practice. I'm glad to see that it's going away little by little. So you got to teach your children, man, to make sure that they know the proper way to deal with these predators in the workplace. So for now, yeah, you keep recording them secretly if you have to. Keep suing them. Keep exposing them. That's the only way it's going to stop. Anyway, like, share, whatever you want to do.